Picture this. It's 6 a.m. Your alarm pierces through the darkness, and you feel that familiar weight pressing down on your chest. Another day, another battle with your own mind, another morning where you wonder if you have what it takes to face whatever life throws at you today. You're not alone in this feeling. Every single person watching this video has felt that morning dread, that voice whispering, "What's the point?" or "I'm not strong enough for this." But what if I told you that the ancient Stoics discovered a secret, a morning ritual so powerful it could transform not just your day, but your entire life? Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the Roman Empire, wrote in his personal journal, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly." But here's the beautiful part. He didn't write this to discourage himself. He wrote it to prepare his mind, to build unshakable inner strength before his feet even touched the floor. Your morning thoughts are like seeds. Plant thoughts of defeat, and you'll harvest a day of struggle. Plant thoughts of power, resilience, and purpose, and you'll harvest a life of meaning. The mirror you look into each morning reflects more than your physical appearance. It reflects your potential to become the person you're meant to be. Think about the mornings when everything felt impossible, when your relationship was falling apart, when your career felt stagnant, when you looked at yourself and felt like a stranger. Those mornings shaped you, but they don't have to define you. The Stoics understood that morning is when we're most vulnerable, but also when we're most powerful, because it's the moment we choose who we become that day. Every morning, you stand at a crossroads. One path leads to the same old patterns, the same fears, the same limitations. The other path, the path we're walking together today, leads to a version of yourself that you've only glimpsed in your strongest moments. A version that doesn't just survive the day, but transforms it. These aren't just positive affirmations or feel-good quotes. These are battle-tested truths from people who faced real suffering, real loss, real challenges, and emerged stronger. They're the morning secrets that helped emperors rule with wisdom, philosophers find peace in chaos, and ordinary people discover extraordinary strength within themselves. Your transformation begins now, in this moment, with the decision to rewire the voice in your head. The same voice that has criticized you, doubted you, and held you back is about to become your greatest ally. Don't forget to like this video, drop your thoughts in the comments, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribe to our channel, because every part of today's journey will unlock another layer of your inner strength. Don't skip any part of this video. Each secret builds upon the last. Now let's go. Number 1. I am the author of my own story. Every morning as you open your eyes, you're holding an invisible pen. This pen has written every chapter of your life so far, and today you get to write a new page. But here's what most people don't realize. You've been letting other people hold that pen. Your ex-partner wrote chapters of unworthiness. Your critics wrote paragraphs of limitation. Your past failures scribbled margins of fear. But this morning, you take back authorship of your own existence. Epictetus, who lived as a slave before becoming one of history's greatest philosophers, taught us, "No one can harm you without your permission." Think about that. A man in chains understood freedom better than most free people do. He realized that even when his body was owned by another, his mind, his story, remained his own. You've experienced moments when you felt like life was happening to you, not for you. When circumstances seemed to control your emotions, when other people's opinions became your inner voice, when past mistakes felt like permanent tattoos on your soul. But every morning offers you a clean slate, a new chapter, a fresh beginning. The author of your story doesn't just survive plot twists. They create meaning from them. When you lost that job, the author in you can write it as the chapter that led to your true calling. When that relationship ended, the author in you can craft it as the story of learning to love yourself first. When you faced that health scare, illness or loss, the author in you can transform it into a testament of resilience. This isn't about denying reality or pretending pain doesn't exist. It's about claiming your power to interpret, to grow, to choose what meaning you give to every experience. The Stoics called this the discipline of desire, not wanting what happens to you to be different, but choosing how you respond to what happens. Your story isn't written in stone, it's written in sand, and every morning the tide comes in, giving you a fresh beach to write upon. The protagonist of your story isn't perfect. They're powerful. They don't avoid challenges. They transform them into character development. Number 2, my past does not define my future. Right now, there's a part of your mind replaying old scenes, mistakes you've made, opportunities you've missed, words you wish you could take back. It's like having a broken record player in your head, stuck on the same sad song. But this morning, we're changing the playlist. The Stoic philosopher Seneca once wrote, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." He understood something profound. Your past is not a prison sentence, it's a foundation. Not a ceiling limiting how high you can rise, but a floor showing you how far you've already come. You carry scars that tell stories of survival. You carry lessons wrapped in the clothes of mistakes. You carry wisdom earned through heartbreak, strength forged through struggle, compassion born from your own suffering. Your past isn't your enemy, it's your teacher. Think about the person you were 5 years ago. The problems that kept them awake at night, you've already solved. The fears that paralyzed them, you've already conquered. The dreams they thought were impossible, you've already begun pursuing. You are living proof that people can change, grow, and transform. But here's where most people get trapped. They keep living in yesterday's version of themselves. They introduce themselves to new opportunities with old limitations. They approach new relationships carrying old wounds. They chase new dreams while dragging old fears behind them. The Stoics practiced a morning exercise called negative visualization, not to attract negativity, but to appreciate the present and prepare for the future. They understood that dwelling on past failures is just as dangerous as fearing future problems. Both steal your power to act in the only moment you actually have, right now. Your future isn't determined by your past. It's created by your present choices. Every morning you get to decide, will I be the person I was or the person I'm becoming? Will I let old wounds dictate new relationships? Will I let past failures predict future possibilities? The most beautiful gardens grow from the richest soil, soil enriched by what has died and decomposed. Your past mistakes, failures, and pain aren't roadblocks to your future. They're the rich soil from which your new life will grow. Number 3. I control my response, not my circumstances. You wake up and immediately check your phone. Bad news floods your screen. Your boss sent that passive-aggressive email. Your bank account shows numbers you don't want to see. Traffic is already backing up on your route to work, and that familiar feeling creeps in. The feeling that life is happening to you, not for you. But here's the morning secret that changed everything for the Stoics. You are not the victim of your circumstances. You are the architect of your responses. Marcus Aurelius faced plague, betrayal, and the weight of an entire empire on his shoulders. Yet he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He wasn't living in a fantasy world. He was living in the real world with an unshakable inner foundation. Think about the last time someone cut you off in traffic. For those few seconds, you gave a complete stranger control over your emotions, your blood pressure, maybe even your entire morning. You handed your inner peace to someone who doesn't even know you exist. But what if instead you used that moment as practice for the bigger challenges life will throw at you? The space between what happens to you and how you respond, that's where your power lives. That's where your freedom exists. That's where you discover that you are not a victim of circumstances. You are a responsibility master. Your circumstances are like the weather, constantly changing, often unpredictable, completely outside your control. But your response is like your clothing. You get to choose what you wear, how you prepare, and how you adapt. You wouldn't curse the rain for being wet, so why curse challenges for being challenging? This doesn't mean becoming emotionless or pretending pain doesn't hurt. It means recognizing that your emotions are information, not instructions. They tell you what's happening inside you, but they don't have to dictate what happens next. Every morning, you wake up with a full tank of emotional fuel. You can spend it all in the first hour reacting to emails, news, and other people's moods. Or you can invest it strategically in responses that align with who you're becoming. The most powerful people in the world aren't those who control circumstances. They're those who have mastered their responses to circumstances. They've learned to dance with uncertainty, to find opportunity in obstacles, to transform setbacks into comebacks. Number 4. Every challenge is my teacher in disguise. There's a challenge sitting on your chest right now. You can feel it. That heavy, uncomfortable weight of something you don't want to face. Maybe it's a difficult conversation you've been avoiding, a skill you need to learn, or a fear you need to confront. Your instinct is to push it away, avoid it, or wait for it to magically disappear. But what if I told you that this challenge isn't your enemy? It's your mentor wearing a terrifying mask. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught his students, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." And nothing embodies Stoic philosophy like welcoming difficulty as a teacher. He knew that smooth seas never made skilled sailors, and comfortable lives never created strong characters. Think about your greatest growth spurts in life. They didn't happen during your easiest moments, did they? They happened when you were forced to dig deeper than you thought possible. When that relationship ended and you discovered you could survive heartbreak. When you lost that job and found the courage to pursue your real passion. When illness struck and you learned what truly matters. Your challenges aren't punishments from the universe. They're university courses in becoming who you need to be. That difficult person in your life. They're teaching you patience and boundaries. That financial struggle, it's teaching you resourcefulness and priorities. That health issue, it's teaching you to treasure what you have and fight for what matters. The ancient Stoics had a practice called amor fati, love of fate. Not just accepting what happens, but learning to love what happens, because it's shaping you into something stronger, wiser, more compassionate. They understood that trying to avoid all difficulties is like trying to build muscle without resistance. It's impossible. Every morning, instead of asking, "What problems will I face today?" ask, "What will today teach me?" Instead of, "How can I avoid discomfort?" ask, "How can I grow through discomfort?" Instead of, Why is this happening to me? Ask, how is this happening for me? Your challenges are not roadblocks. They're stepping stones. They're not walls keeping you trapped. They're doors leading you to your next level of growth. The same pressure that creates diamonds also creates the strength inside you that you never knew existed. The teacher disguised as your challenge is patient, persistent, and perfectly designed for your growth. Stop running from class and start taking notes. Number 5. I am stronger than any storm. Right now, there's a storm brewing somewhere in your life. Maybe it's been building for weeks, or maybe it just appeared overnight. You can feel the pressure dropping, the winds picking up, the darkness gathering, and there's a voice in your head whispering, I don't know if I can handle this. But here's what that voice doesn't know. You've already survived 100% of your worst days. You're reading this right now because you've weathered every storm that tried to destroy you. You are living, breathing proof of your own resilience. Seneca, who faced exile, loss of wealth, and eventually death by his own emperor's orders, wrote these powerful words, "Every storm runs out of rain." He understood that no matter how fierce the winds of adversity blow, they are temporary visitors in the permanent home of your strength. You have a storm survival kit that you've been building your entire life, even when you didn't realize it. Every disappointment added to your emotional intelligence. Every betrayal taught you discernment. Every loss showed you what you can survive. Every failure proved that falling down isn't falling out, it's falling forward. Think about the storms you've already survived. Remember that time when everything seemed to be falling apart. Your health, your relationships, your career, your finances, all at once. You felt like you were drowning, like you'd never see dry land again. But here you are, not just surviving, but learning, growing, becoming stronger through the struggle. Your inner strength isn't loud or showy. It doesn't announce itself with fanfare or demand recognition. It's quiet, steady, unshakable. It's the part of you that gets up when you don't want to, that keeps going when you want to quit, that finds light when everything seems dark. The storms of life don't come to destroy you. They come to reveal you. They strip away everything that isn't essential, everything that isn't truly you, until all that remains is your unbreakable core. The wind may bend you, but it cannot break you. The rain may soak you, but it cannot dissolve you. The thunder may frighten you, but it cannot silence your inner voice. You are not made of glass that shatters at the first sign of pressure. You are made of the same stuff as mountains. You may weather and change, but you endure. The storm is temporary. Your strength is permanent. Number 6. My worth is not determined by others' opinions. You check social media and see everyone else's highlight reel. You walk into a room and immediately wonder what people are thinking about you. You replay conversations from 3 days ago, analyzing every word, every facial expression, every pause. You've given other people the power to determine your worth, and it's exhausting. But this morning, we're taking that power back. Epictetus said, "How much trouble he avoids who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does, but only to what he does himself." The man who lived in chains understood freedom better than most people ever will. The freedom that comes from no longer being a prisoner to other people's opinions. You were born worthy, not worthy because of what you achieved, not worthy because of who approved of you, not worthy because you met some arbitrary standard. You were born worthy simply because you exist. That worth isn't something you earn. It's something you remember. Think about the people whose opinions you value most. Now think about this. They're just as insecure, just as uncertain, just as human as you are. They wake up worrying about what others think of them. They question their own decisions. They have bad days and make mistakes. Why are you giving people who are figuring it out just like you the power to determine your value? Your worth is not a democracy where everyone gets a vote. It's a monarchy where you're the only ruler. Other people can offer feedback, guidance, and perspective, but they cannot determine your value. That's an inside job. The most confident people you admire aren't confident because everyone likes them. They're confident because they've learned to like themselves regardless of who else does. They've discovered that seeking everyone's approval is the fastest way to lose your own. You've spent years building your identity on achievements, relationships, and external validation. But what happens when the achievements fade, relationships change, and validation disappears? You discover that underneath all those external layers, there's still you, complete, valuable, worthy of love and respect. Stop outsourcing your self-esteem to people who don't pay your bills, don't know your struggles, and don't have to live with the consequences of your choices. Their opinions are just that. Opinions, not facts, not truth, not the final word on who you are or what you're capable of becoming. Your worth is not up for debate, not up for vote, not up for discussion. It simply is. Number 7. I choose progress over perfection. You have a mental list of all the ways you're not enough, not smart enough, not successful enough, not attractive enough, not productive enough. You've been waiting to start living your real life until you become the perfect version of yourself. But here's the secret: the perfectionists don't want you to know. Perfection is the enemy of progress. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present, not because the present is perfect, but because it's the only place where improvement is possible." You can't change yesterday's mistakes, and you can't fast forward to tomorrow's achievements. You can only work with what's in front of you right now, that project you've been postponing until you can do it perfectly. Start it imperfectly today. That conversation you've been avoiding until you find the perfect words. Have it with imperfect honesty. That dream you've been delaying until you're completely ready. Begin it with incomplete preparation. You know what's better than a perfect plan that never gets executed? An imperfect plan that gets you moving. You know what's better than waiting until you're fearless? Acting while you're afraid. You know what's better than having all the answers? Starting with the questions. Think about learning to walk as a child. You didn't wait until you could walk perfectly before taking your first step. You fell down, got up, fell down again, got up again, stumbled, wobbled, and gradually improved. Your progress wasn't linear, but it was real. The same principle applies to everything else in your life. Perfectionism isn't about having high standards. It's about having impossible standards that keep you stuck. It's fear wearing the mask of excellence. It's procrastination dressed up as preparation. It's self-sabotage disguised as self-improvement. The Stoics understood the virtue isn't about being perfect. It's about consistently choosing what's right over what's easy, what's true over what's comfortable, what's growth over what's safe. They aimed for excellence, not perfection. And there's a world of difference between the two. Excellence says, I'll do my best with what I have. Perfection says, I'll wait until I can do it flawlessly. Excellence is achievable and sustainable. Perfection is impossible and exhausting. Every morning choose to be 1% better than you were yesterday. Not perfect, just better. Those small improvements compound over time into extraordinary transformations. Number 8. Today is a gift, and I will not waste it. You have approximately 27,375 days in an average lifetime. Today is one of them. You will never get this exact day back. These 24 hours, these 1,440 minutes, these 86,400 seconds. They're yours to spend, and you can't save them for later. Seneca warned us, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Think about yesterday. How much of it did you spend scrolling mindlessly? How much of it did you spend worrying about things you can't control? How much of it did you spend postponing what matters most? This isn't about productivity guilt or cramming every moment with activity. This is about awareness, the deep, soul-stirring awareness that this day is not a dress rehearsal. This is your actual life happening right now while you're reading these words. You've been treating days like they're unlimited resources in an infinite supply. But if you knew today was your last day, would you spend it the same way you spent yesterday? If you knew this was your final conversation with someone you love, would you hold back your appreciation? If you knew this was your last chance to pursue that dream, would you still be waiting for the perfect moment? The ancient Stoics practiced memento mori, remembering death. Not to become morbid, but to become alive. Not to live in fear, but to live with urgency. Not to be paralyzed by mortality, but to be motivated by it. Every sunrise is an invitation. Every breath is an opportunity. Every heartbeat is a chance to choose love over fear, action over hesitation, presence over distraction. You're not just existing today, you're creating today. That phone call you've been meaning to make it today. That skill you've been wanting to learn, start today. That forgiveness you've been withholding, give it today. That gratitude you've been feeling, express it today. That risk you've been considering, take it today. Your future self is watching this moment, hoping you'll make choices they can be proud of. Your past self overcame everything they faced to get you to this moment. Don't let their struggles be in vain. Time is the most democratic resource on earth. Everyone gets the same 24 hours. But what you do with those hours is what makes the difference between a life well lived and a life half lived. Number 9. I am capable of more than I realize. There's a version of yourself that you've never met. They live just beyond your comfort zone, just past your current limits, just outside your assumed abilities. They're not a fantasy. They're a possibility waiting for you to believe in them. Epictetus taught that no great thing is created suddenly. The capabilities you don't think you have aren't absent. They're dormant. They're like seeds buried in winter soil, waiting for the right conditions to sprout. Those conditions aren't perfect circumstances. They're courage and consistency. Remember when you thought you could never survive that loss, but you did. Remember when you believed you weren't smart enough for that challenge, but you figured it out. Remember when you were convinced you didn't have the strength for that struggle, but you found it anyway. You have a track record of being more capable than you initially believed. You've been setting your thermostat too low. You've been playing smaller than your actual size. You've been accepting limitations that aren't real limitations. They're just familiar boundaries you've never tested. Right now, there are skills inside you that you haven't discovered yet. There are strengths you haven't accessed. There are levels of resilience you haven't needed to tap into. There are depths of wisdom you haven't explored. They're not missing, they're waiting. The person you're becoming is already inside the person you are. They're not a completely different individual. They're you, unleashed. You, without the self-imposed restrictions. You, without the voice that says, "I can't." You, with the voice that asks, "What if I could?" Every expert was once a beginner. Every master was once a disaster. Every success story started with someone who had no idea what they were doing, but decided to do it anyway. The only difference between you and them is that they started before they felt ready, continued when it got difficult, and didn't quit when progress felt slow. Your capability isn't fixed, it's expandable. Your limits aren't permanent, they're temporary. Your potential isn't predetermined, it's unlimited. You are not the finished product. You are the work in progress, and the best is yet to come. Stop underestimating yourself. Stop settling for good enough when you're capable of extraordinary. Stop playing it safe when you were born to soar. Number 10. My energy is precious, and I choose where to invest it. You wake up with a full battery of energy, emotional, mental, and physical, but by noon, you're running on empty. Where did it all go? You gave it to situations that don't serve you, people who don't appreciate you, and thoughts that don't help you grow. Marcus Aurelius understood this when he wrote, "Confine yourself to the present. Not just your attention, but your energy. You have a finite amount each day, and every expenditure is an investment decision. Are you investing in what matters, or are you spending it on what doesn't? Think about your energy like your money. You wouldn't give your paycheck to random strangers on the street, so why are you giving your energy to random thoughts in your head? You wouldn't invest in a business with no potential for return, so why are you investing emotional energy in situations you can't control? You've been an unconscious spender of your own energy. You wake up and immediately check the news. Energy spent on problems you can't solve. You scroll through social media, energy invested in other people's highlight reels. You replay yesterday's arguments, energy wasted on unchangeable history. You worry about tomorrow's possibilities, energy spent on uncontrollable futures. But conscious energy investment changes everything. Instead of reacting to whatever demands your attention, you choose what deserves your energy. Instead of being available to every emotional vampire, you protect your energy like the precious resource it is. The Stoics called this the discipline of action, choosing not just what to do, but what not to do, what conversations not to have, what thoughts not to entertain, what situations not to engage with. Sometimes the most powerful action is deciding not to act. Your energy flows where your attention goes. If you focus on problems, your energy goes to problems. If you focus on solutions, your energy goes to solutions. If you focus on what's wrong with your life, your energy sustains what's wrong. If you focus on what you're grateful for, your energy amplifies what's good. High-performance people aren't those who have more energy. They're those who invest their energy more strategically. They say no to good opportunities so they can say yes to great ones. They avoid energy-draining people so they can invest in energy-giving relationships. Your energy is your life force. Guard it fiercely, invest it wisely, and watch your entire world transform. Number 11. I am growing stronger through every experience. Every experience you've had, the good, the bad, and the ugly, has been adding to your strength account. You might not see it yet because you're too close to the construction site, but you're being built into something unbreakable. Seneca wrote, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." Your struggles aren't separate from your strength. They're the forge where your strength is created. The heat you feel isn't destroying you, it's refining you. You look at successful people and think they've had it easy, that somehow they bypassed the difficulties you're facing. But the truth is, they didn't avoid the storms. They learned to dance in the rain. They didn't escape the challenges. They transformed challenges into advantages. Your pain is not pointless. Your struggles are not random. Your difficulties are not punishments. They're all part of an invisible curriculum designed to develop qualities in you that can only be developed through experience. Patience through waiting, courage through fear, compassion through suffering, wisdom through mistakes. Think about a muscle growing stronger. It doesn't happen during rest. It happens during resistance. The weight that feels heavy today becomes light tomorrow because your capacity has increased. The same principle applies to your emotional, mental, and spiritual muscles. You're not the same person you were a year ago, 5 years ago, or 10 years ago. Every challenge you've faced has added layers of resilience you didn't have before. Every loss has taught you what you can survive without. Every disappointment has shown you that you're stronger than your circumstances. The experiences that felt like they were breaking you were actually making you. The moments when you wanted to give up were the moments when you were being upgraded to a new level of strength. You didn't realize it then, but you were in training for this moment right now. You're not growing despite your experiences. You're growing because of them. Not in spite of your struggles, but through them. The same experiences that could make some people bitter are making you better. The same challenges that could break some people are building you. You are a living testament to the human capacity for growth, change, and transformation. Every scar tells a story of survival. Every wrinkle maps a journey of wisdom. Every grey hair is a badge of honor for battles you've won. Number 12. I have everything I need within me. You've been chasing shadows, approval, validation, love, peace, reaching out to the world, hoping it will hand you what you think is missing. But here's the shock. The treasure you've been running after has been buried inside you the whole time. Marcus Aurelius knew this secret. He said, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." The most powerful emperor who ruled millions realized that his real empire was his own mind. There's a voice inside you that never lied, even when your thoughts were scattered. There's a strength that has carried you through storms you thought would break you. There's a compass inside your chest that still points north, even when the world around you collapses in fog. The moments when you felt most alive weren't bought, weren't given, weren't approved by anyone else. They came from being aligned with your own soul, raw, unfiltered, real. The world trained you to believe you're missing a piece, that you're half a person searching for completion. But wholeness was never something to achieve. It was something you forgot. You weren't broken. You only forgot the truth of your own power. The love you've been begging for? It's already flowing inside you. The strength you thought you lacked? It never left. The wisdom you're searching for? It's been whispering all along. The peace you crave? It's not out there. It's buried in the stillness of your own being. The Stoics didn't see happiness as grasping for more. They saw it as waking up to what's already in your hands. Not settling, but being deeply awake to the miracle of what you already are. You don't need permission to breathe as yourself. You don't need the world to clap for your dreams. You don't need perfect timing or perfect conditions to step forward. And you don't need another person to complete you, because you were never incomplete. The crown you've been searching for in achievements, in relationships, in possessions, it's been sitting inside your soul all this time, waiting for you to wear it. The answers you're desperate to find out there are carved into the walls of your own heart. You are not missing. You are not lacking. You have everything necessary to create, to live, to burn with purpose. The only step left is to remember who you are and claim it. As the night fades and a new dawn takes its place, remember this: you are not waking up to the same life you left yesterday. You're stepping into it with sharper eyes, with a fire that wasn't burning before, with truths that can no longer be buried. These aren't just lessons to repeat in your head. They're weapons. They cut through doubt, fear, and hesitation. They turn your mornings into a battlefield where your strength, your discipline, and your resilience stand guard. The Stoics didn't survive exile, betrayal, or death because they were lucky. They survived because they carried an unshakable code inside them, a code that refused to bow to circumstances, a code that made them unbreakable. That same code is now etched into you. Tomorrow, when your alarm strikes, you won't just wake up, you'll rise. And when the old voices try to drag you back into weakness, you'll answer with power. You'll remember that you are the master of your responses, the author of your future, the warrior of your own mind. You'll know storms don't destroy you. They sharpen you. You'll know opinions don't define you. They pass like dust in the wind. You'll know perfection is a lie. Progress is the only truth. And you'll feel it deep inside. Today isn't just another day. It's your chance to live, to grow, to conquer. This is more than a routine. This is a revolution. One morning thought at a time, you're rewriting the story of your life. So carry this flame forward. Guard it. Feed it. Let it burn away every shadow that dares to stop you. And if this message ignited something in you, show it. Share it with someone who needs the same fire. Leave your truth in the comments. And subscribe, because this is only the beginning. Your first real victory begins tomorrow morning, with the thought you choose to crown your day.